Hey guys, I'm back. I know you haven't seen me in a video for a while, but I thought I'd make some new videos because I'm pregnant, and as you all know, I am autoimmune. Um, just to go over my list of issues, I have ulcerative colitis, Graves' disease, but that's taken care of. I have my thyroid removed, thyroid eye disease, and now I have rheumatoid arthritis, a new one. um, but yeah, I am 19 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So yeah, I'm well into my second trimester, so I thought I'd make a first trimester video. First, let me start off by showing you my ultrasound picture because my little baby bean is so cute. And then here's the other one, and that little circle is the yolk sac. So yeah, that's my little bean. Um, I found out I was pregnant in May. I think it was actually it was a Friday the 13th, which is like kind of weird because for my boyfriend and I, we have like this Friday the 13th significance to our relationship. So yeah, I had been hospitalized for a week, and I was actually like on birth control. But that week that I was in the hospital, I was the week that I was supposed to be off birth control. And the day that I got home was like the day I was supposed to start the birth control, but I didn't have it, like it wasn't filled or whatever, so I started like the next day. So basically I started my birth control like a day late. So I'm suspecting that that's how I got pregnant. Yeah, your birth control needs to be like right on the dot, even if it's like one day, like just one day, you know? It's like, but I mean, this is a huge blessing. I mean, I'm excited. I'm still nervous about it, but um, like me and my boyfriend were both very excited. And like at first, I think the feelings of being pregnant and being autoimmune were very real. It's just kind of a hard, weird thing to describe. Of like, when you have like all these symptoms, your feelings, you take whatever pill or whatever, medication to help it, and then now you have to think about like, okay, what is this going to do to my child? Because it's not only affecting you physically, there's another human being that it's affecting. So, that was really hard for me to kind of accept in the beginning, because I was like, look, I feel miserable right now. I need to take this, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's hard. I hope all you other Spoonie mom to be's can relate. And of course, I'd feel guilty. So I don't know, it's just really hard, and just also thinking like, am I gonna be able to keep up with the child once it's born, on my days where I'm feeling like total crap, and I can barely lift my head up, that's another feeling that I was getting. And then I started getting feelings of guilt because I'm like, oh, why am I thinking all that stuff? I should be happy. But I mean, pregnancy and having a child literally changes your life, and it's not only about me anymore. So I think deep down inside, I always felt like, yes, I am ready for it. But I just think like all of life's things, like get in the way, and just start thinking like what ifs, and things start to get scary. And I think if you weren't normal, you wouldn't think all those like scary situations or like the what ifs and stuff. But yeah, that's mainly, I wanted these videos to be geared towards, just talking about like what it's like to be pregnant, excuse me, and autoimmune, or, sick, or with whatever illness you may have. Because even though, there are thousands of illnesses out there, I feel like deep down we kind of all go through the same thing and the same feelings. And as women, we all want to have babies and have a family. And the start of that, is starts with it's huge for us, but us Spoonie moms. And it's not easy. It's, first of all, pregnancy is not easy in the first place, and I think being pregnant while you're sick and on medications is even more hard. So I kind of wanted to share my story, and yeah, so I'm 19 weeks basically, and things have gotten better as far as like morning sickness and stuff. I have a list of all my first trimester symptoms. Nausea, obviously, that started around like 7 to 8 weeks, and it started with more like food aversions. Like I started with food aversions with meats and like cheeses and like really greasy things, or just like ugh. And I was literally barely eating. I wasn't to the point where I was throwing up, but it was just, I just felt gross and just like nauseous all the time, and it was just horrible. And I felt depressed, and I felt tired is another symptom. I was just like, this is horrible. I'm like, how do women get pregnant like all the time? Like, and they have to go through this. It was just like, I just hated it. It was just ugh. But yeah, I would barely eat, because it was like my stomach would get hungry, but my brain was like, no, you're not eating. Everything is gross. Everything looks gross. Like, you need to stay away from that. And that's kind of lasted me. It's gotten better. Like, I'm able to eat more, but there are some days where I still get like that food aversion. So I really haven't, like, I'm 19 weeks and I really haven't gained any weight whatsoever, because of, I feel like I'm just not eating that much, really. I'm eating like 2 meals a day, and I get cravings sometimes, but it's not like how I once thought they would be. Like, people think about like, oh, pregnancy woman cravings, you're like, ravenous, and kind of like prednisone cravings, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. Yeah, definitely prednisone cravings are way more intense than pregnancy cravings, at least for me. But let's see. Throughout the first couple of weeks, I always got a crampy feeling in my uterus. It was just like, it just felt like I was gonna get my period. And that's how, when I found out I was pregnant, I had missed my period completely for a week, and I thought I was gonna get it because I was just crampy all the time. Like, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get it, and so they said that was normal, as long as you're not bleeding, everything's fine. And that usually, like, obviously went away. I was on prenatals, but I got super constipated, like to the point where my stomach was bloated. It was bad. So I got off of them, and I just took straight folic acid, and that has helped so much. Yeah, like, I have ulcerative colitis, and I was constipated, which it was kind of funny because I didn't think I was constipated. Like, that has never, like, the last time I was constipated, I was like 5, and then it's like, I realized, like, oh my gosh, I'm constipated. Like, wow, but it was horrible. Like, that is so painful. I also have mild scoliosis, and I've been in and out of physical therapy for it. And once I got pregnant, my back pain started to come back. And they said that mainly it's because of the hormones relaxing your joints and ligaments, and my back doesn't have the support that it once had. And so my back pain immediately started, and it's been really hard. So I'm actually back in physical therapy for that, just to help throughout my pregnancy. And yeah, and just kind of like doing things to help it. I'm still they said I could take tramadol for it as needed. I definitely try to go without it as much as possible. Only on days where like I am close to tears is when I take it. During the first trimester, I also got acne. So not only was I feeling like sick, I felt gross. I mean, like, I looked gross. Like, I was just breaking out all over the place. It was so bad. I would just, like, I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, I feel so ugly and gross. And I just, like, I'd wash my face, and literally, like, in 5 minutes, it would be extremely oily again. Like, I felt like I was going through puberty. It was horrible. I started getting it, like, on my chest, on my back, just, everywhere. It was bad. Luckily, that has gotten better. And I had just gotten diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, but the one good symptom is that my RA has basically disappeared. Before I got pregnant, I was in pain basically every day, joint pain, barely able to move. My RA is basically non-existent, so yay for that. It's pretty much it. As far as my medications, I'm taking Lexapro. That's for my anxiety. They decided to keep me on that. My psychiatrist said it's better for the mom to be stable because anxiety can actually, really affect the baby. Much more than the Lexapro can. So I'm still on Lexapro. I'm still doing pretty good. Like, there are days where when I think about, like, pregnancy and how this is my first child, I get scared and, you kind of get down on yourself and stuff, but I think that's all normal. I think as long as I'm still able to laugh and, and then there are days where I'm, like, so excited and I can't wait for the baby to be here and stuff. I just think, it's just normal, like, ups and downs. And then being a Spoonie and pregnant, I think it's just even more emotions and even more, like, scary, like, what ifs and thinking and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I was on Lexapro. I was on Klonopin every day, but they said only to take it as needed. But after I got pregnant, anxiety has been really good. Like, I mean, good as in, like, non-existent. I also was on Risperdal. They took me off of that completely, but I've been feeling fine without it. I'm on folic acid, Aprezo, and Entyvio. The Entyvio, they said, I mean, there's not really a lot of information about it affecting pregnancy, but my gastro said she feels confident for me to stay on it 'cause it's so specified in the gut, so, she's not worried about it. I'm taking my Armour thyroid. My thyroid levels have been super good. And I'm also, because once I enter my second trimester, and I'll talk about this in a later video, my ulcerative colitis flared up. Yeah, before I got pregnant, it was total remission, totally fine, hard stools, like, it was just like normal, normalcy for once. And once I hit my second trimester, it was just bad, and I was hospitalized, put me on prednisone for 3 weeks only, but I'll talk about that in my second trimester video. So I'm tapering off of the prednisone right now. But yeah, so it's pretty much all the medications I'm on. I was taking way more medications before I was pregnant, and I feel like with just those little bits of medications, like, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm actually really happy. Sometimes I'm like, did I need all those other medications? Oh, and I'm also on calcium. I take calcium because my parathyroids don't work. Of course, during surgery, they got stunned and they just didn't want to work again, so I gotta take calcium. But other than that, my thyroid's pretty good. I did take Zofran in the first trimester for my nausea because I could not get through the day without it. It was just like, if I did not take Zofran, I would not eat. I would not, get out of bed. It was like the nausea was just bad. So I took Zofran only for the first trimester. I also, One thing that really helped with nausea is like sour candies, like lemon candies. Like I bought lemon heads, Jolly Ranchers. Also these right here, these kind of help good. These Preggy Pops. They come in lollipops, but I got like the drops. You know, they're like little heart candies, and they're like sour raspberry, green apple, sour lemon, sour tangerine. So like if you're nauseous, nothing's working, just buy sour candies. That really helps. And also just eating like kind of like carbs and stuff, like crackers, white rice, chicken noodle soup, things like that. Very simple, bland foods help so much. So yeah, that's that. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, first trimester, it was rough. I think just because you're going through the emotions of finding out you're pregnant, of, you know, the impact that it's making on your life, well, that it's going to make on your life, and then also as a, you know, chronically ill person, it's already making an impact on your life. You already have to make all these changes, well, even more so, you know, with medications and stuff, and you're in a sense kind of putting yourself at risk to getting sick again. So it's more daunting and more scary and more, I feel like you're kind of sacrificing a little bit more than kind of the average woman, because you're kind of putting your quality of life on the line a little bit, you know. You don't know how this is going to affect you. Some pregnancies make women feel better, some pregnancies don't. You know, everybody's different. Like I said, in my second trimester, my ulcerative colitis came back, and that totally, you know, put a damper on things. But I'll talk about that more in detail in my second video. Right now, I just wanted to get through like the first trimester stuffs. Thankfully, I feel like my first trimester went pretty normal. You know, diseases were all in remission, just, you know, went through the whole nausea thing, and, you know, feeling gross and tired and looking like I was a teenager again, and, you know, just that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was just that. And as far as like baby bumps, I am starting to show, thank goodness. Well, I mean, it's just kind of weird, like, when you're not showing, you kind of want to show, and then when you start showing, you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. But let me show you my bump. I mean, it's really, I feel like it's not that great. I feel like now I can't really suck in my belly. Like, that's me trying to suck in. But this is it from the front. I mean, when I look down, I can totally tell, you know, I can totally feel it. I can feel my uterus, like, you know, when I touch below my belly button. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, that's it for right now. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps any other Spoonie moms-to-be during their first pregnancy. I know it can be scary, but just take it, one day at a time, and be totally honest with your doctors. You know, don't be afraid to call them, ask them questions. You know, like, it's literally, it's you and the doctors and during this pregnancy, and, you know, listen to your body. I know it can be kind of hard to try to determine, like, what's pregnancy symptom and what's, you know, my disease symptom. But as time goes on, you'll start to relearn, like, your new normal. Like, yeah, this is kind of getting a new normal again, you know. But it's kind of like something we all have to do, right, for the price of becoming a mom. Luckily, it's only 9 months. That's what I keep telling myself. This is temporary. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.